I identify myself as both he and a she.
Hmm.
Like I identify myself as a trans. So I mean, let's face it. And the reason why I do that because I did that because I watched this one movie called A Girl Like Me.
Hmm.
A Girl Like Me. It's a story about a teen named Gwen Amber Rose Arajo.
Hmm.
She was biologically a man, but lived his life as a girl,
Hmm.
but was killed by four dudes who obviously that she was not who she said she was.
Hmm.
So I took the inspiration from her and I came out to my mother in 2017. So
Uh, you said you came out when?
I came out in 2017 to my mother when I told her about it.
How did she receive that?
My mother was kind of shocked at first, but eventually she got over it.
Okay. Uh, when how did the world treat you?
Well, my church kind of didn't take it a little bit as well as I thought because the church I go to is
Hold on,
Galilee.
stop. Hold on, stop once because my phone. Somebody tried to call, so it went out. You said the
Uh,
church.
well, my church that I go to is Galilee. When I first returned there in 2019, coming into that year, well, when I returned and I was being a cross dresser, like my church kind of did not accept me, and
Hmm.
one of my deacons at my church told my cousin on me, and then my cousin made me get rid of anything that was girly. They made me change to what they wanted me to be. And then, but before I returned to Galilee, I was living with my aunt living in Richland when I showed her my prom picture, and I was wearing a prom dress at that point, and it was a teal color, a long dress, and I wasn't wearing a lace front then because I was wearing my normal hair because it was braided. So at that point, when I showed her my prom picture, she was like, "Why was you wearing a dress and not wearing a tuxedo?" Then my brother didn't come to my defense, so I'm like, "Okay, that was the ultimate betrayal." So for what five plus added plus so I'm sorry. So what five plus five added five said, about how people just say things and then I mean it's just crazy. Plus, I have a
Yeah.
past that no one in my life, that no one on TikTok has ever known about. No
I'm
one, no.
interested. I'm not. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of curious as to like your upbringing. Had you been? I guess I'm gonna use the word violated, taken advantage of at a young age. Did somewhere did something? I don't want to use the word confused, but kind of make you curious. Uh, Something that happened to you.
Well, I have to say this was very personal and it was very tough for me to live with all my life. When I was 13, my big brother, one night, he asked a favor of me.
Hmm.
I never thought that my own brother would do something this stupid because I mean, I always looked at him like as a good sibling to me.
Hmm.
I mean, you know, he put, I mean, my toys will put up for a favor one night, and then it's like he took me, and it's like makeup being put all over my face, perfume being put over my body.
Hmm.
My brother looked at me. He said to me, "Do you love your own brother?"
Hmm.
My brother knew. My brother knew I'd do anything for him. But once he was laying me in several different positions, he laid me on my bed and he came onto me. He did whatever he wanted to do to me.
How old would you say you were?
13.
Uh,
I was
uh,
molested by my own brother at that age.
how
And
often how often did this happen?
it was the first time in parchment second time it happened was when we was living across the street from Jackson High School, and he sat there and he denied it
Yeah.
to our own family. And the only person that really actually believed me was my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And if anyone on this TikTok has watched that movie, okay, Joe, tell me if you've seen this movie. Have you ever watched this movie, Woman Thou Art Loose?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's about that young girl, Michelle. Her
Yeah.
mother didn't believe her because of what her mother's boyfriend did to her. And
Mm-hmm.
when she screamed out for her mother wasn't there.
Yeah.
So when she told her mother didn't believe it because she chose her man over her own daughter.
Yeah.
And she lived with it all her life. Only difference between me and Michelle is I didn't do drugs and I was not behind bars.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I lived with it and it's really hurt me. And I didn't know what to do and my life was completely different. And then ever since then, it's been haunting me. And then fast forward to 2021, my dad died in the month of October
Mm-hmm.
because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
How I found out about that was because one of my aunts on my dad's side had told me that he was hospitalized for COVID. The next thing you know, I was told he was getting better. Then at 2 a.m. that same night, he freaking dies.
Mm-hmm.
His mother, my grandmother, calls me and tells me he died
Mm-hmm.
that night. And I didn't get a chance to go up to the hospital to see him. I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to him or tell him that I love him.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I failed him at that point, and it's like I can't even protect my own mother. I just felt like why did death all of a sudden have to take him away from me? My dad was the biggest part of my life,
Mm-hmm.
but now when people look at me, they see him. And as you can say, most people say I do look like my father, and I do. I am practically his twin, so it's and then my own family, last year in 2022, they tried to press charges against me and they accused me of wire fraud
Mm-hmm.
and tried to say that I embezzled money, and it's so much that I could take in and that was going on, and this situation happened in the month of April.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, why would they do that to me? And it kind of made me look like, and then I look in the mirror and I look like and it made me look like this reminds me of Candy, Portia, Todd, Shamia, and Phaedra, the ultimate betrayal. So it's just like when my family accused me of that, they tried to press charges against me. Her daughter tried to say I'm retarded. I don't know how to live right. My aunt embarrassed me at my job. Then my uncle Dwayne calls my phone and basically throws past situations in my face. My brother molested me. He said he was not apologizing for that, and they did not apologize. They never wanted to apologize because they kept throwing stuff in my face, and it was like, are you serious? And
Let me
I had enough of it. And then it's like now every time when I'm around them, I had to be so freaking fake. And then when Thanksgiving hit, I literally went to over to my cousin's house, and let's be clear, didn't want to go, and it was just so
let me
it
let
was
me
really hurting
let me
me.
let me ask you something. What you do you pray?
Yeah,
Okay. You ever? I know they want some people want me. You ever been to therapy?
I've been to therapy like before when I was a kid,
Hmm. What's your
but
relationship like with your brother now?
well, my relationship with my brothers are pretty isolated right now.
Hmm.
But as far as what my mother has told me is that I had to forgive them.
Hmm.
I forgive him, but I forgave him. I don't have to. I didn't have. What I learned is that you don't actually have to see a person to forgive them. You can
Right.
forgive them from afar. So I do forgive them both, but I'm not forgetting what they did.
Right.
And so after that point, it was just kind of crazy. And yes, as people in the comments told me, I need to stop this and I need to set boundaries. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I am setting boundaries for my mom's side of the family. As I told my mom, her side of the family is full of hypocrites, and I don't like hypocrites. I don't deal with hypocrites because it's like if you're being such a hypocrite, because my family has called me a hypocrite, they like to call me out my name. But and it's a shame. They preach to me about lying. They preach to me about so many stuff, but they don't never follow the rules themselves. And it's like my family sits there. It's like if I did something wrong in their house, they have rights to tell on me. But if someone did something wrong to me, it's like they expect me to shut my mouth, but but they have rights to tell me. Please, you and everyone in these comments don't tell me that that ain't hypocritical because it's that. Do you find that hypocritical? Because I find it hypocritical.
Most definitely hypocritical, and I gotta commend you because I'm gonna tell you something. First and foremost, I owe you an apology. I didn't not take you serious when you first came on to the live, but I did not realize that you were a biological man. So it shocked me once because when I said Brianna, I actually thought I read Brianna Cooper, but when I seen the name, I don't believe
I
in
thought
coincidence.
by that at some point.
I don't believe in coincidences. So when you started, the first thing I noticed, the first thing you kind of hit on was the being molested, and then you brought up the church. And then I listened to how blunt and honest you are. So I got to commend you because for some reason, a lot of church people or the holy people, they get holiness and being truthful misconstrued with telling a lie. And then they look at
Right,
black people, the family, people like myself or people like you know what I'm saying, who live their truth and don't care how people feel. And they try to condemn
right,
us. So of course I agree with you calling them hypocrites. I agree with you even being able to say everything that you just said because most people don't have the strength to do that. Because look, I'm looking at this. I'm a straight shooter. I'm looking at this, and what I'm looking at is whatever you struggling with or whatever you identify or whatever it is, you're still a person to me, and you are strong enough to say everything that you just said and you seem to be dealing with it fine. Like I ain't saying that you don't need therapy. I'm sure therapy
right,
because one thing that I did learn in therapy is being honest with yourself is a form of therapy. So you're not lying about who you are, what you
right,
dealt with. You know what I'm saying? And then your references. I like your references. Like you have things that have, I guess, encouraged you or motivated you through movies or things that you've read and seen because there's other people who have experienced these things. So it's helped build, you know what I'm saying, your character and stuff. And then you say you still have a prayer life. So, but do you,
right.
it's so many
I
people out
still
here.
have my prayer life, and guess what? And some people say that I don't own it. Well, guess what, honey? I own it. I own everything I say. I own everything I do. And because of me speaking of my truth, I'm just say this: if Candy, Portia, and Phaedra, if Nene, if anyone can own what the hell they say, and honey, I'm gonna own what I'm gonna say.
That's what's
I'm gonna
up.
own what I'm gonna say because I'm speaking on it. And yes, when my mother gets out of jail soon enough, yes, me and her are gonna tell our testimonies to
Yeah.
anyone in front of that church. Anyone who don't care, I really don't care. You hate, well, I'll be great because at the end of the day, I am who I am.
Right.
Because ain't no one gonna tell me how I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, and I already know forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for you.
Good for you.
And do I forgive my mom? Yes, I forgive her for the stuff she's done
Yeah.
because and I'm actually gonna speak on it and I'm actually gonna own it
Mm-hmm.
because you know what? There's been times my mom has done wrong things to me,
Mm-hmm.
and there are times she's apologized, but she's given me but once.
Mm-hmm.
She's giving me but apologies, and like how some people say they want an apology where they can feel it,
Mm-hmm.
without you saying but.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
My mom has given me butt apologies so many times, and it's like you sitting here, you're justifying your action to me.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of times my mom has done that to me, and it's like I didn't think she understood the level of what she did in 2017 when she was out with a killer who killed someone over 18-pound crack of cocaine, and you wasn't there for me. You left me and my brother at the house by ourselves, and you was out with this man. You was out at the boogie down motorcycle gang, and it's like I was not sitting up in my house waiting to hear that she got killed or that she was locked up for selling on dope, for selling that stuff, because I didn't want a mother like that. And it really hurt me because when I told her that she needed to own it, and to say for her to say her sorry for her to say that she's sorry to me was one thing, but I told her, Mom, if you really want me to forgive you, you got to put action behind that. And I'm
Yeah.
not making no excuses for her. I was
Right.
not, and
Right.
you know but then once she finally apologized, and this time it was genuine. And this time she said it. This time she didn't mention but. She didn't say the word but that time. And I
Mm.
was like, okay, Mom, I forgive you. And I
Yeah.
really did. So,
Oh, that's
and
real. That's real. I know how that feel to get an apology that ain't genuine versus getting one that is genuine. And then it's another thing I gotta say to you, man. You, I'm sure you in the spiritual realm, you've been overlooked, like you've been underestimated. You know what I'm saying? Because intelligence does not have a look. It does not, and people, the way you can articulate things, people will probably assume or think, you know what I'm saying, you can't be articulate or you're not aware. Like as if you don't, they think wisdom comes with a certain look. They think knowledge comes with a certain look. They think certain things have to look a certain type of way for it to, and you possess a lot of things. And just from listening to you, I know a lot of people probably feel like, oh, they can get over, they can do certain things, and you're not fully aware of exactly what's going on. They think they can handle you any type of way. So
right,
and then that's a trick of the enemy too. That's a trick of the enemy too. So I gotta
right.
I gotta commend you for that because you got a voice, man, and you be surprised. Like
And
voices,
I'm actually glad I found my voice because it took me several years to find it.
yeah,
Most people tell me like that, oh, that I'm weak and I'm not as strong as they think I am, or that they think they can just over bully me or think they can overpower me.
hmm,
But guess what? Now I'm stronger than I already am.
yeah,
Because in fact, I'm gonna show you this. This necklace that I'm wearing, this Jesus necklace,
hmm,
because that necklace, when I first got this necklace, it was pure gold at first.
yeah,
But then all my pain, the betrayal, everything that I've been through literally sunk deep into this necklace.
yeah.
It literally sunk deep straight into it, and that's why this necklace has become so rusty for it, because everything I went through had just literally sunk into it, and this necklace has really actually got me through a lot.
Let
And
me,
I have to actually to give thanks to God for Him bringing me through it all. Not only has everything I've been through made me stronger, it's made me fearless, it's made me braver, it's made me the best person that God actually wanted me to be. And without Him, I've never would have actually have turned out the way that I am.
right.
Because you know what, I learned this from my current pastor. He said, like his wife had literally said, "You are unstoppable." And when I found out that I was unstoppable, I have just ultimately said, "God, I know you answered every single prayer of mine."
Yeah,
Because I knew it was one thing left to do, and I had to tell God that, "Thank you for making me unstoppable."
amen to
But
that.
because I knew I had to praise him for my enemies, because what my leading lady has said is like, don't dismiss them, because every now and then your enemy will prophesy something to you.
You just spoke a word. Hey, listen to me, Brian. Let me tell you something. And I want to say this to anybody on here. What I don't do and what I do not believe is discriminating differently, discriminating towards somebody that's seeing different than me. You know what I'm saying? Because just because of whatever that I know. I do something that's displeasing to the eyes of the Most High every single day. And one thing for sure, two things for certain that I do know because of the life of where I come from, I know He don't discriminate on who He will use. So if you're thinking that the Most High can't speak through someone that because of what you think they are, what you think they've been through, listen to me. Don't ever assume that. And the Most High can use anybody, man. He can speak through anybody, and people automatically assume. If I can be frank, I'm gonna be blunt, Brian. No disrespect. People will automatically assume because you're wearing a wig and then you identified as both. They will assume that the Most High would not speak through you because they'll say that it is a sin. Now, because I am a believer, so I have an obligation to say we do not condone sin. But it ain't. It's the Most High hate the sin, not the person. The sin is something that's working. The sin is a spirit that's working in the person, but it's not the Most High. His comprehension is beyond human comprehension. So he's able to see that you could be being used or you could be being manipulated in the spiritual realm. It does not mean that he's just dismissing that there's still a person. There's still a person. So it's not no one on this live right now who is not in some form of bondage, some kind of yoke that's tied to a sin. And
Amen.
if you can still pray and he hear your prayer, he can hear everybody else's. That's why he said we have a high priest who can sympathize with every weakness because he was tempted at every point, yet he was still without sin. He said, therefore come boldly. And he's speaking about people who telling lies. All of us have told, probably all of us on this live have told
Right.
one lie this week. If that's the case, then we all are equivalent when it comes to the eyes of the king. It does not, just because you see it differently from me, it does not mean that I'm closer to the king than that you're any closer to the king than me, because he's no respecter of a person. And then
Right.
it's a scripture when he said, when he talked about the vessel, he was talking about giving them $1 and going out and doing work. And then he went and hired some more that came after them, and he offered them the same thing. But when it came down to it, when they was coming to get paid, a lot of people started complaining because they were saying, "Oh, we was here before you, and this is that." They felt like they should have got paid more. When it comes to the Most High, the gift, the promise is that you being a child and receiving. Everybody receiving the same thing. He's not
Right.
offering you more. He's not giving you more. You don't deserve more because you can preach a better word. You don't deserve more because you said more prayers. You don't deserve more because you did more evangelistic work. You don't deserve more because you dressed and you looked a certain type of way. I offered y'all all the exact same thing. And so when it comes to that right there, a lot of people will look at it and say, well, he can't, man, this is that, this is that. No, because I literally just heard Brian speak a word. I know for a fact I just heard him speak a word. And I'll ask for forgiveness, you know what I'm saying, in public, you know what I'm saying? Because in situations like that, the Most High, he'll use it, and he'll check you. He'll check your heart. Because when you're looking at the fruits of the spirit, the love, the joy, the peace, the kindness, the self-control, the gentleness. In this right here, I'm listening, and the enemy want me to not take it serious, and you're gonna miss an
Right.
opportunity. And then not only that, I would have had to get out of here and go in my closet and ask for forgiveness because I missed the opportunity based on I sent somebody that look a certain type of way, or you thinking a certain type of way, because I have to deal with my own heart. So like I said, if I you know what I'm saying, I owe you an apology on the strength of that in the beginning. And then I have to most definitely bow my head and ask God to forgive me, you know what I'm saying, if my heart was in the wrong place and not understanding that you're no
Right.
different than me. So,
Right. And I really appreciate that. And I mean, hey, you know, God know, and in fact, I just know that God knows my heart,
yeah,
and God knows, and He sees me. He knows what I do, and God knows I'm a good person. He knows that.
yeah,
And because let's face it, if I wasn't a good person, because I know there are too many people who have been through what I've been through, are blind, crippled, and crazy. Because,
right,
I know it's the hand and the grace of God that kept me where I am today, that's
right,
bringing me to where I am. Because any hypocrite can sit up here and say that he's not doing it, honey. Well, honey, guess what? You don't know hypocrite know what God is doing with me.
right,
What God's
right,
doing with me, it is not no one else's business. I'm getting to what God got for me.
right. I liked what you just said. You might need to put that on a t-shirt. Don't no hypocrite know what God is doing for me. That was strong, my guy. That was strong. That was strong. I like that right there. I might have to use that one. Don't no hypocrite know what the Most High doing for me. That's facts. That was
Oh,
strong.
that's straight facts. Like I just said, I'm a straight shooter. I'm real with that.
Yeah, I like
I'm
that.
real with
That's
it.
real, man.
My
But yeah,
mom know
Brian.
I'm straight facts. So,
Oh, Brian, man, I followed you back, man. I enjoyed this conversation, man. I appreciate you coming on here, man.
all right.
You done read my book?
Have I read your book yet? Wait, what was the name of it?
I tell you what, just shoot me your information, man. When I get out the line, I'm gonna send you both of them for free.
All right.
Ah, yeah, most definitely. I got you, man. I appreciate the conversation.
All right.
All right,
Thank
bro.
you.
All right, you be blessed.
All right. You right. You too.
Hey, listen to me, man. I'm finna add somebody else in the box. Give me just a second. See, look. It's some things. I pay attention to when my heart is being checked in places that it haven't been checked. A lot of times you familiar when the Most High prunes you, you know what I'm saying, and he building you up. When he pruning you and building you up, sometimes you're already locked in on the things that you need to work on. So sometimes it's hard for you to see the other things because you're not looking for something else. You're looking for the familiar areas that you build yourself up in. That's just like you can go through a relationship and you can learn that you wasn't affectionate, or you didn't have good communication, and in that next relationship to be better, try to be better in them areas. But then you can come to find out I worked on them too and didn't realize I have triggers. And so when the triggers happen, you realize, okay, it's something else I need to work on. I always have my heart and mind in a place of, okay, this is a lane I ain't had to deal with. This is something I haven't had to take serious. This is something I haven't had to, make sure I'm taking heed to check my heart and see, to make sure I'm still flowing in the fruits of the spirit. You sometimes you can know, like some people, like restoring your credit right now is a big thing right now. You know what I'm saying? Credit is a big thing. A lot of people are just now realizing, after all of these years, I've been working on this and working on that, and then come to find out credit is king. You know why? Because it's an area you ain't never had to pay attention to. But see, the world it'll force you into, hold on, I gotta start building this credit. What is an LLC? I need to get a business account. I need to do A, B, and C, and X, Y, and Z. Because at some point you'll start realizing, man, this job, the check thing, or how this is going, I need to put myself in a position later on down the line in case something goes wrong. So the world will force you into a place of where you didn't have to look at it. You didn't have to look in that area. So, like I said, I didn't, and this is the honest truth. I didn't realize Brad was a biological man when he came. I promise you I didn't. I literally looked at the name and thought it said Brianna. But by the time I was about to be silly, I remember saying a couple of days ago, I don't believe in coincidences when it comes to my life. So by the time I looked and seen, I instantly checked myself to don't add to this person's trauma. Don't ruin opportunity to, see if I can learn something first and foremost. See if I can learn. Don't look at this don't take this as a joke when if it was a well-known minister who got on. Don't treat this person any different because if it was a well-known minister, you'd automatically treated this person with with a certain level of respect. You know what I'm saying? Depending on who, don't do that just on the basis of what your eyes saw, what your heart and your mind is trying to tell you, take as a joke. You don't know. So, and at that point, just like that, just like when they used to tell me all the time, you never know when you entertaining an angel. You really don't. You never know when you entertaining an angel. You don't know why this person jumped on the live. It literally could have been a check on your heart. And let me say this, because I most definitely ain't one of them ministers who want to tie everything when you being tested, that it automatically comes with a financial, when it comes tied to a financial blessing or something tangible coming into your life. Because I believe in building character, integrity, and morals and principles and wisdom and stuff like that. Those are more important than tangible things, because tangible things gonna rot and mold, and it'll go. Money come and go. The character, when you build in character, integrity, and patience and stuff like that, and understanding, those things add to your character. And when you build in that character, I promise you're gonna get way further in life than thinking, I'm gonna be kind and nice to this person because I'm expecting something tangible to fall in my hand. I'm expecting somebody tomorrow, or somebody finna break bread with me because I passed that test. Oh, I'm finna get another place or another car because I passed that test. No, 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 no. I'd rather build my character so the next time I have a conversation and I don't even realize I'm talking to a multimillionaire, and now I was patient enough, then that person gives me some kind of information that can help transition my life, versus somebody always thinking somebody can put something in my hand. And see, a lot of people get that, you get that confused. People, you'd be surprised how many people want to pass tests just so they can get something tangible. Like, so that's why I said I owed them an apology, because I know right off the bat what my heart and what my mind wanted to do. Because I was reading the comment section where they said he was literally lost. He was literally lost for words, because at the moment I was like, do I want to be silly? And the spirit was saying, no, you don't want to be silly right now. This is not a silly moment. This is not a silly moment. So, you know what I'm saying? I took heed to that. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it. I appreciate that, man, because listen to me, man. I need moments like that always humble me. Moments like that always bring me back, you know what I'm saying, to make me realize, my purpose in this world. Because and that's another reason why I love my platform, because that's how conversations go over here. And I was molested, you know what I'm saying? He was molested by a family member, which was his brother. So but him being molested, took a different turn than mine. But it didn't. Even though it took a different turn than mine, it both put us both in a cycle of sin and confusion. Point blank. Period. His cycle sent him, to do. You know what I'm saying? My cycle sent me to sleep with multiple women. It still created a cycle of sin. It still created a cycle of trauma, cycle of hurt. Still want to understand. Even when he spoke about his mama, like I've went through those emotions as well, when you deserve a genuine apology. And the genuine apology, sometimes it's hard for the parents to do it, because some parents feel like, oh, I did everything that I could and I really don't owe you an apology. Yeah, you do. But yes, you do. You do owe me, because I'm telling you, some of the mishaps, some of the things you overlooked, some of the things you felt as a parent. Well, I did whatever, and it affected me. Them choices that you made as a parent affected me. I didn't ask to be here. We're not taking away from parents that you did the best that you could do. But some of the choices that you made have most definitely affected me as a child. And then if you'll fix your mouth and say, but I was doing this and doing that, you don't understand. No, at this point, parent, you don't understand. Because I'm telling you that what happened is still affecting me to this day. And you don't have enough character and enough courage to admit and take responsibility and say, you know what? You're right. It's just that simple. It's that simple to say, I get it. Because you know why? Because your parent also can say something about their parent. If you as a parent know you disagree with some of the things that your parents done, who are my grandparents, that they didn't do it this way and they didn't do it that way, and it affected you. I don't understand how you don't understand. I'm telling you, some of the things that you did affected me, because you still carrying the hurt from your parents, and you older than me. I'm trying to tell you, at some point you got to realize the cycle got to be broken, and it might start with a genuine with a genuine apology. Sometimes it's just that simple. It's just that simple. But look, I need to get off real quick because I'm gonna try to say this live, man. I hope it don't mess the what's name, because I got a few calls through here, man. But I had a lot more I wanted to say, but let me say this real quick. I'm gonna try to get back on here in probably about an hour. Y'all hold it down. I'm gonna be back. I need to make a call. Appreciate that.